Hey everyone, welcome back to the sunny side. I'm your host, Sunny. I hope everyone is having an absolutely fantastic day. It's great to speak to you again. Anyways, today I'm going to tell you guys how to seduce a Capricorn. Alright, here we go. Oh, first things first. If you like the videos, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, or maybe add it to one of your playlists on YouTube. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll answer them as soon as I can on the weekly love horoscope videos. Alright, next. Here we go. No, almost. Next. It's been said a million times before that all game is inner game. So, if you need a little confidence to pull off some of the tips, tricks, and techniques that you're learning here, then definitely listen to one of the self-hypnosis meditations found on this channel. It just might change your life. And after all of that, if you think that you still need a little help with your game, I recorded some waking hypnosis and NLP language pattern videos on persuasion that will definitely fill in a bunch of the holes in your game and arm you with more tricks than you'll ever know what to do with. So give it a listen, and if you have any questions, then please let me know. Next. Alright, enough chit chat. Here we go. Let's make this video. Alright, so here's the action. Let's say you're at a professional dinner, right? Or maybe a fundraiser, and you see someone who's a little quiet. They're a little reserved, maybe even a little shy. They might seem a little strict, a little rigid, and although they completely exude strength and confidence, they definitely don't look like much fun. But there's something about the way they're standing. Their posture is quietly confident, and they are definitely not showy. They might be standing off to the side by themselves, or they might be chatting in a small group, but they're not necessarily going to be the center of attention. They're just kind of there. A bit like Aquarius is kind of just there, taking in all of the action around them. And they can be difficult to spot at first, but there's a real telltale sign. Wherever you met, or whatever you were doing, these guys that you saw, or this person that you saw, was definitely overdressed for the occasion. That's a telltale sign. So, if you've met someone who's confident, reserved, always looking to advance their upwardly mobile status, and they're a little overdressed for the occasion, if they seem standoffish and even cold and aloof, and they're almost intimidating when first getting to know them, then my friend, you just got hooked by a Capricorn. Great, Sonny, I got hooked by a Capricorn, now what? Good question. Alright, let's see what we're working with here. First, Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign. This means, like Aries, Cancer, and Libra, they can be very aggressive. Capricorn is confident, they are brave, and awesome at starting new projects. Along with the other cardinal signs, they're pioneers and leaders into the unknown. They will take chances, but they will be calculated and part of a larger plan. Right? So it's a little different. They take chances, but they're calculated risks. And that's the cardinal part. Again, I'll tell you again, Aries, as an example, will jump right in without looking. Capricorn, on the other hand, they jump right in, but it's part of a larger and a very tangible, meaning you can touch it, kind of plan. Next, as for the earth part, they are physical, and that might be difficult to believe, but Capricorn is one of, if not the most lustiest of signs. Right along with some side like Virgo, even though Virgo doesn't show it. And Capricorn doesn't show it either. Anyways, just as a comparison, the legendary lover of the zodiac is actually Scorpio. Everybody should know that by now. But where Scorpio is looking for a spiritual and emotional and almost psychic connection, Capricorn is more like Sagittarius in their lusty nature, where it's more of a physical need. But Capricorns amp it up to about 11. But, it's only behind closed doors, at the beginning anyways. Now, none of that is really going to help your game, but, you know, it's nice to know what we're working with. All right, what's next? So Capricorn is traditionally ruled by Saturn, and this makes them a little intimidating. Although they really, you know, they really are pussycats when you get to know them, but you wouldn't know it by looking at them. And I mean, let's face it, they're quiet and confident, and they're dressed to the nines. They're not flashy like a Leo or super put together like a Libra, but maybe wearing a power suit or power dress, and it's just brunch at the beach. You know, these guys overdress. They're actually easy to spot, and it's cute. And actually, Capricorn rising is even easier. They're the ones who, as little kids, always played dress up in their parents' clothes. Or rather, as little kids, they were ahead of their time. But there's a reason for this, and I'll explain it in the rising signs video. But for now, it may seem weird, but whether you realize it or not, Capricorns, as cold and standoffish as they seem, they care very much about their appearance and what others think about their looks, skills, and abilities. These guys are motivated with an upwardly mobile energy, and this shines forth in absolutely everything they do. Capricorns want to be the best, or rather, they want the rewards from being the best, and they actively plan and pursue that goal with every single thing they do. And seriously, you'll see it either. So, you see, Capricorn's opposite sign is Cancer, and Cancer is the most nurturing sign. So it's not a surprise that Capricorn is the least nurturing sign. And until you really get to know them and how they operate, you'll notice it as well. But there's another way to look at it. Cancer nurtures the home and family and takes care of you on a personal level. Capricorn, on the other hand, actually does care very much. They are but they are nurturing the business, and although it's tough for them to get to admit it, they do want to take care of everyone. But whereas Cancer does it in a smothering way, Capricorn does it by making money and simply wanting everyone to be at their best. Anyways, they're quiet, confident, and they look the boss, and you should probably know in advance that these guys believe in hard work and tough love, right? Hard Capricorn, hard work, tough love, upwardly mobile. So, it's no wonder that they intimidate everyone who wants to approach them. And before you try and change anything, you know, if you're a Capricorn who wants to be more approachable, know in advance that a Capricorn's aura of excellence, right? Let's just call it that. Capricorn's aura of excellence is it's a lot like the Scorpio stare, let's just say. It will absolutely scare the holy smokes out of anyone who's either lacking in personal confidence or someone who simply hasn't experienced it yet. So Capricorn, don't change. Because, believe it or not, it goes hand in hand with another one of your characteristics, which is focused determination. And that is something you definitely want to keep. So don't change. Next, for everyone else, it should really be obvious. You will need a ton of inner game confidence if you even want to walk up and say hello, let alone try your hand at a little game of seduction with a Capricorn. But if you see a Capricorn standing there and you're interested, then suck up your courage and say hello. Alright, here we go. So, you see your Capricorn standing there talking with his or her friends, so you smile and politely join the conversation. Now when I say politely, I mean you better have a very strong sense of social awareness and extreme mindfulness. If you are off color, garish, or shake the status quo in any way, then your game is way over before you even begin. Capricorns very much care what other people think. And again, excuse me, even if they won't admit it, you know, but they care. So you better look good, and not only in appearance, you better have the manners and be on your best behavior. And I'll say it again because it's that important. Social missteps with a Capricorn will end your game before it even begins. Alright, so you got to be on your toes. But if you like them, you like them. It's worth it. It's worth it. Anyways, what's next? This is important. If you have a mutual friend who will vouch for you, that will go a long, long way. But, be careful. It is not necessary. Capricorn is perfectly capable of making decisions on their own. But, okay, if a Capricorn hears how great you are from a friend, it will go a long way towards getting them. But, okay, there's a danger here. Capricorns hate people knowing their private business. So if you try and get your Capricorn by going through a friend, you're going to be seen as someone who can't keep their lips shut, whether it's true or not. A Capricorn will immediately think you're untrustworthy, and again, your game will be over. So, you don't want your mutual friends to tell the Capricorn that you like them, but you do want your friends to say how great you are and how perfect the two of you would look together. Got it? That's important. Alright, you see, the reason is, status means a lot to these guys, and like Libra and Leo, they want the best. But not necessarily the real or behind the scenes best, but they want someone who's the best in the eyes of their friends. They're the classic, these guys are the classic quarterback dating the head cheerleader kind of drama profile, but it's kind of funny because in most cases, the Capricorns are more likely to be the coach or manager of the team or even the owner than they are to be the quarterback. But that's just the way they see things. Alright, so what do we have so far? You have to be confident and rank high on the social ladder. But bragging, bragging of course will get you nowhere fast. So you have to show a Capricorn. You can't just tell them, you have to show them. So, how do you fit yourself into the image of someone attractive to a Capricorn? And this one, believe it or not, is simple. You can use a little bling, and it better be expensive. Capricorns know the price of everything, and the more expensive, the better chance you have of being noticed. Alright, back to the story. So, you're talking away, being super polite and low-key, and because you watch this video, you know not to ask too many personal questions. Got it? Many signs, like Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Sagittarius, and Scorpio, all like to ask personal questions. Don't do it. You will not appear interested, nor will you demonstrate that you're attracted by hanging on their every word. Capricorn will actually think that you're nosy, and again, they'll think that you can't keep secrets, and ultimately, you can't be trusted in public. So, by all means, get heavy and deep in your conversations. Just don't get too personal, especially if you're around their friends. You see, that's one of the big reasons that, just to let you know, that's why Capricorn and Scorpios get along so well. Scorpios are the keepers of the zodiac, and as a result, Capricorns trust them. No big deal. So, you guys beginning to see how things are working here? It's not too difficult. You just have to be recognized as the prize and to be socially shining. And as much heat as I'm going to take for the next statement, it's true. Capricorns want to date a supermodel or business leader, and they would rather go alone than settle. Straight up. That's it. But there is a way. You can be a little flaky. I know a lot of the other astrological, the horoscope writers, astrologists say that Capricorns hate flakes, and they do, and they are not flaky, and they're never late. But here we go. You can be a little flaky. They won't like it, but they'll see it as the cost of doing business, and you might get a pass. You don't have to be the smartest cookie in the box. Intelligence is sexy, but it's not really quantifiable in a tangible way, and this is important. You see, wherever your strength, it has to be proven in a public forum. This means It won't matter if you're the smartest cookie unless you have the paperwork to back it up. But if you do have the paperwork and the trophies, and especially if you have the press to back up your personal action story, then you have a very good chance. All right, next step, and it should be obvious. If you're trying for a Libra or a Leo or a Sagittarius or even Aquarius, then it's more than cool to hang in a group and flirt away. But for Capricorn, and I hope you guys write this one down, the most important thing to do is isolate the target. Got it? You have to get them alone. Capricorns are private people who will not open up to strangers in public. So don't do it. Don't even try. Simply say something to get them alone. And it's really not that difficult. Tell them, it's too noisy here, practical. It's too noisy here. And tell them you'd like to go someplace more quiet, or ask them to show you around. Something practical, something tangible, something with a reason behind it. Capricorns love to help. They're nurturing, remember? Except the opposite of nurturing. Capricorns love to help, and although they don't readily show it, they're nurturing, and at heart they want everyone to succeed and be happy. Now, I'm not saying position yourself as an underdog or someone who needs their help. That is a bit of a no-no. Don't be like that. That attracts a Pisces. But just tell them to show you around, and they'll be glad to help. A better bet, okay, so here's a better bet, is to actually know what you're looking for and to lead a little. Say something like, I want to go to that expensive jewelry store, and you want their opinion on something. That'll demonstrate that you recognize, that they recognize, and blah, blah, blah. It should be aces from there on in. Or maybe tell them that you're hungry and suggest an expensive restaurant. Keep the suggestion light and non-evasive, especially once again in front of their friends. You might even try a nod and wink approach, but as smart and successful as they might appear, Capricorn is not necessarily one of the psychic signs, so just saying in advance, they might miss the signs, okay? You have to be direct with them. So once again, these guys are an earth sign, so you have to be concrete and clear when communicating. So, be clear, but not too personal. And above all, once again, isolate the target. You have to get them alone, and on an expensive adventure. If you can do that, your work is almost done. Now, while you're at it, be prepared for rejection. Seriously. Even if they like you, okay? Even if they like you, be prepared for rejection. They're not going to show it at the beginning, and this can easily play out as rejection. But once again, unless it's a real and tangible rejection, then just play it cool. They're just being cool in front of everyone. The Capricorn may have just been caught off guard, and they're protecting themselves. But get them alone, show that you're socially the cream of the crop, and you have a fighting chance. Next, you've got them alone, and you're somewhere a little expensive, or at least somewhere cool, maybe hard to get into, a touch exclusive, and you're beginning to vibe. You demonstrated that you're the prize, not by getting them jealous. A Capricorn, they might not care, not in the usual way at least. And actually, for a Capricorn, the more others find you attractive, then the more a Capricorn will like you. But rocking the boat with a jealousy pattern is just going to make you look unstable. So, desirable, yes. Using it as a weapon, no. And remember, these guys are in the axis with Cancer. They're super caring. And even if they have a strange way of showing it, and if you begin playing the jealousy game, they'll simply close back up and your game once again is over, my friend. So don't get them jealous. But show that you're desirable to others and that you're stable and you have goals and they're actually, actively working towards your goals, and they will definitely be into you. But there's one more step. You got to close the deal here. Towards the end of your little Insta date, or however you isolated the target, you have to say, okay, so here's how you do it. You have to say towards once they're in you, you have to say, I don't usually give my number out to strangers. This will shock the Capricorn and put the two of you on the same level. You see, as you're going out, working through your little dance here, as you're trying to open them up, they're trying to, in their brains, trying to get with you. And so they're going to think everything is all cool. And when it's time to do the phone number thing, if you say, I don't usually give my phone number out to strangers, this is going to shock them. And shocking them in this way will definitely hook them in. All right, so simply tell them that you don't usually give your number out to strangers and be clear about it. Say, all right, here's what you say. I do not give my numbers out to strangers, but I like you. Here's my number. If you call, I will answer. All right, very clear. If you call, I will. I don't give my number out. I don't give it out to strangers, but I like you. So if you call, I will answer. See, very clear, almost businesslike, and that's how it works. Okay, do not add them to Facebook, right? Do not text them. Do not send email. And hey, where did it go? Hey, where are we here? Do not text. Do not send email. Be confident, direct, and private. And the best way to do all of that is by phone, voice to voice. Remember, these guys are confident, and although everything is going to begin on the hush-hush, they are direct and not really into playing games. And actually, they're the number one sign of not into playing games, ruled by Saturn. Capricorns are serious people, and this very much carries over into their personal life. So be direct, be serious, and when you say something, mean it. And yeah, you will be judged by your actions. And again, not just by your Capricorn, but by their friends as well. Right? So, it's not too it's not too difficult, really. And if it's meant to be, then with the Capricorn, it will eventually happen. So be patient. Aggressive, yes, but patient. And here we go. Once again, here are the steps. First, DHV, demonstrate higher value. It's super important. Next, isolate the target. If you can't isolate your Capricorn, you don't have a chance. Go somewhere a little exclusive. Be socially at the top of the food chain. And I didn't really mention it, but make sure you disagree a little at the beginning. All right? Disagree with your Capricorn a little bit. And then tell them, okay, disagree with them a little bit. And then later on, when everything's going well, tell them, I do not usually give my number out. And this will demonstrate that you're not only a prize, but you know what it means to respect privacy. And if you can do all of that while avoiding the pitfalls, then you will get your Capricorn. Capricorns are really nice. I like them a lot. And although it's difficult at the beginning, once you get through and, of course, drop your own guard and let them in, you'll find that Capricorns really are quite fun and adventurous. But you have to go through the interview process first, and it might feel like a job interview. Got it? All right, once more. Here we go. Simply, DHV, demonstrate higher value. And there's a number of ways to do this. And the easiest way is using some bling. Wear an expensive watch or diamond earrings, and they'll be instantly attracted like moths to a flame. Next, impress their friends. And this is super important. Okay, next. Then, above all else, is above all else, you have to isolate the target above all else. If you can't isolate your Capricorn, you don't have a chance. Next, while you're alone, demonstrate that you have goals and you're pursuing them. That's important. It should be obvious, but it's important. Demonstrate that you have goals and that you're pursuing them. And finally, you have to say somewhere along the line, I like you, but I don't usually give my number out. This will get them hooked, and voila, you're in. And that's it. Be private, be the prize, and you will get your Capricorn. I hope it helps. Once again, if you guys need any help with confidence or inner game, then give a listen to one of my hypnosis meditations on the channel. My meditations go hand in hand with these seduction approaches, so it really does help to listen to them before you head into the field. And if you need a little help with your outer game, or you're scratching for some persuasion phrases and techniques, then have a look at some of the waking hypnosis and NLP language patterns on the channel. Because as much as I say all game is inner game, it's also nice to have a little something up your sleeves in case things actually do go sideways. Yeah, really. Anyways, that's it, player. I sincerely hope you get your Capricorn. And if you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll answer them as soon as I can on the weekly Love Horoscopes video, the Love Scopes. And with that, from the sunnyside.net, I'm Sunny, reminding everyone to please share the videos, give it a thumbs up, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. And that's it. From the sunnyside.net, I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a beautiful week. I hope you get your Capricorn, player, and I'll see you soon.